Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. हरे राम संकीर्तन की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे.
Hare Krishna. 2 minutes. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Don't dampen your spirit with the rain. Okay, just enliven yourself. Thank you for coming despite of all the unfavorable weather. You are here to for the Sunday feast. So thank you everyone for coming. Anyone here who is here first time? First time? Prabhu, you're first time? Okay. I just had a small gift if somebody was here first time, but that's okay. We'll keep it for somebody else to come. So we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava for the pleasure of the Lord, and then we'll see the pastimes or activities of Sakshi Gopal. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Gajajana Ranjana यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय Hare Krishna. So as we discussed earlier, we'll be talking the pastimes of Sakshi Gopal today. Any one of you have been to the Sakshi Gopal temple here? Jai. Obviously. Yes, lots of devotees go to the Sakshi Gopal temple. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are two pastimes involved, or within one chapter there are two pastimes. One is the Sakshi Gopal coming from Vrindavan to the Vijayanagar, which is coming down, and how it ended up into Katak as well. So in that one chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, in 5th chapter, there are two parts, but we will be discussing the first part today of activities of Sakshi Gopal. Thank you, Prabhu. Activities of Sakshi Gopal coming down from Vrindavan to Vijayanagar. But before that, how many of you know that Lord Krishna likes to travel a lot, especially our Shri Shri Radha Gopinath? You know, the pastimes of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath is they have traveled, came to Sydney, went back to Mumbai, came back to Sydney again, and traveled within Sydney for so many times. So this is, they like to travel. And I'm wondering actually that while contemplating on the story of Sakshi Gopal, that who was that devotee in Sydney for whom the Shri Shri Radha Gopinath actually came. That is the mercy, that is the merciful devotee who actually we are all getting the benefited from. So Shri Shri Radha Gopinath traveled for someone very special, went back, came back again with his Divan Gaz, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and stayed here for such a long time. We celebrated last year a 50th anniversary, and very soon we'll be celebrating 51st anniversary of the temple. So, or the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath here. So we are actually, the point which I'm trying to emphasize here is Sri Sri Radha Gopinath is personally reciprocating, or the deities are personally reciprocating to the devotees, or the devotees who are very special. Like we have few examples in India where the deities have reciprocated to the Lord's or the devotees' request, which is, if you see the Udupi temple, which is Kanakadasa, now you have to take a darshan of the deities through the window, because Kanakadasa was taking the darshan through and he was singing for deities, or the Lord. That's why he turned his face around to the deities. So that is a personal reciprocation. There's one more deity, which is Baki Bihari. If you have noticed there, they only open the curtain for a small time. They don't want deity to leave. They just want deity to stay there. So there is another pastime of that as well. So that's another example. Then there is another example of Ramanujacharya. He actually ended up helping a Muslim ruler. His daughter was very sick. Not exactly sick, but I think she was getting some ghostly dreams. And Ramanujacharya helped helped that king's daughter to get out of that. And as you know, the kings, Muslim kings at that time, they used to confiscate all the deities or, to destroy the temples and all those pastimes. But there was one particular Narayana deity which Ramanujacharya was after. And when he offered that help to the king said that, what do you want? Then Ramanuja said, you have plenty of deities, I want to take one of them. The king said, yeah, you can take one. And he went there were a lot of possessions of the king in that treasury. So he went there, and the Narayana deity himself came to him. Ramanujacharya whispered into his ears saying that, let's go quickly because this king is very moody. Before he changes his mind, let's get out of here. So even the deities wanted to get out of that treasury. He was not getting pleasure there. So that is another example. As we spoke, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath is another example, very, very famous. But the main question why what we are actually asking here ourselves is that why do we want to listen to the same pastime again and again? It's like same joke. If I tell you again and again, you will not laugh. It says, okay, tell me something new, isn't it? If I'm a stand-up comedian and I can take one joke probably 5 places, but not after that. But when we listen to the pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath or to the deities or Lord, it gives us immense pleasure, isn't it? Lord was here himself for last 5,000 years, and every single pastime is being relished by devotees here. What makes this happen that? How many of you have siblings, like brothers, sisters, or brothers, isn't it? When they are busy at that time, the other sibling will come and say, can I take this? Then he will say, okay, take it, then I'll sort out later. So in a same way, when we are actually narrating the pastimes of the Lord is actually listening it with more attention as well. Because everybody likes their pastime. Like we like our pastimes, Lord also likes his pastimes. So he is listening to his own pastimes from the devotees. And when he is listening to the pastimes of the devotees, he says, okay, keep it away, or he assigns all your requests to someone else, his what you can say, his energies to fulfill those things. And he says, okay, agreed, let me listen to the pastime. Let me listen to my own pastime. What do you want? Granted, take it away, like that. So, deity is in that mode. So when we actually do the pastimes of the deities and we listen to the pastimes, the deities are present there themselves, personally present to listening to their own pastimes. In the same way, when we do the kirtan, the deities are present there. The Lord himself comes and take the part into the kirtan. So that is now let's get back focus to our pastime of Sakshi Gopal. This is a good example of a deity or the Lord and his devotee, an exchange between them. Many a times the impersonalists or the people who even believe in God, they say these are the deities made of marble, wood, or 5 different types of items. But that is not the case. As soon as you start showing you establish your loving relationship with the Lord, this Lord start reciprocating with it, one-on-one. And this example, which is the Sakshi Gopal, shows us that Lord not only deals with the devotee only on the philosophical level, he deals with the devotee according to the level of the devotion, and level of that particular mood. So let's get into the story. How many of you have heard in the, during your childhood time, far, far away, far, far away there was a town. Or what is the other thing is like, I forgot about it. Once upon a time, thank you, bro. Once upon a time, but it is not once upon a time. This is in this Kali Yuga, after Lord left this planet. This is the story of Sakshi Gopal. There were 2 Brahmanas. One was young and one was older Brahmana. Not that they started together for the pilgrimage, but they happened to be at the same pilgrimage place at the same time. And what happened is, the younger Brahmana, with his very simple and innocent nature, started serving this elderly Brahmana, saying that, we are also on the pilgrimage, I'm also on the pilgrimage. If I have my parents, I will serve them like that. So he had no special motive at that time. So both of them, they went into the pilgrimage, they went to different places, they went to Vrindavan, they took a bath into the holy rivers, they went to the different vanas in the Vrindavan area, Panchakroshi, what they call. And after that, pleased with his service, the older Brahmana gave a word to the elderly Brahmana. And what he did is, he said that, I will give you my daughter, youngest daughter, I will give you. Once we go back to our village, I will give you my daughter. And that's where our story starts. Okay, you can picturize this story in your in your mind. And now we'll go into the story. So now imagine these two Brahmanas are sitting and the conversation is happening. The older Brahmana says, I'm very pleased with your service and the way you have served. Not even my own son will serve me like that. They will not even bother to serve me like that. But even though you are not even my own child, you have served me very well. So I'm very pleased with you and I'm going to give you my daughter once I go back. But the younger Brahmana is saying that, I'm just reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, because the wordings which are there are very, very beautiful. Sir, I am not a suitable bridegroom for your daughter. I render service to you only for the satisfaction of Krishna. Once there was, how many of you know Urmila Mataji, Urmila Mataji? She was here in the temple and she made a very beautiful point the other day. She said that if a pujari, he wants to impress the devotee and serve Lord, that's not the right mood. He needs to serve the devotees and impress the Lord. Can you see the difference? Yeah. So, what his motive was to impress, or basically for the pleasure of the Lord, he was serving the Brahmana. He had no other motive. And he actually gives an example of Rukmini and her father as well. He says that when Rukmini's father, whose name is Bhishmaka, wanted to give his daughter to Lord Krishna, his elder son opposed for it. All his family members, they opposed for this marriage. They said they don't want to give her daughter to a cowherd boy who has no lineage. Why would we give our daughter to someone? For a father, a daughter is a very valuable thing, isn't it? You can imagine a relationship between a father and a daughter. Very, very intimate, very, very close. But Bhishmaka wanted to give his daughter to Lord Krishna, and everybody opposed. They said that, no, we don't want to give. we want to give our daughter to Shishupal. And this younger Brahmana gives an example of that, saying that if you choose to do that because you are a very prestigious person, you are from a very aristocrat family, and your family members will definitely oppose to this proposal. They are not going to give your daughter. So, how many of you have watched, I'm sure many of you have watched the Hindi movie, मेरे पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, कार है, तुम्हारे पास क्या है? It's the same situation. So, in that way, that younger Brahmana was not from the aristocrat family. He was not having any wealth. He was not much educated as compared to the older Brahmana. And he was saying that this proposal is not good. You want to commit for this? You're sure you want to commit for this? And the older Brahmana was so impressed with this younger Brahmana, saying that he will keep my daughter happy. Definitely happy. He has got a very good religious principle. He has that natural serving mood. So he will keep my daughter very happy. So in that way, the younger Brahmana says that now if you are committing for it, what I would request is make the same promise in front of the deities. Now he want to make Sri Sri Radha Gopinath or Sakshi Gopala as his witness. Okay. Now this is a troublesome situation. Sakshi Gopal may be thinking at that time, is like, I'm just here granting everyone's wish. Now you are involving me in your affair. Why should I get it? Why should I get it? I was standing here, people are offering me prasad, having good time. Now you are engaging me into some, troublesome situation. But Sakshi Gopal has no choice. He is there now, he is witness. And then after that, they go back to the village of their own. And this older Brahmana goes to his family, and then he is in a dilemma now. How am I going to break this news that I have already married our younger daughter? And while he is in that dilemma, he breaks the news to his family. And then the family, obviously, I'm coming back to the Hindi movies, Log kya kahenge? What will people say? We are aristocrat family. If we give our daughter to someone who is very poor, uneducated, what will people say? Everyone will just cut off our relationship, relationship with us. Log kya kahenge? Half of the time we are actually doing the stuff which is because of what people will say. Not for our pleasure, for people's pleasure, isn't it? Many of the time we do that. But that is the situation he gets caught into. And what happens is after that, not only that, his family members actually threatens him, saying that if you give away your daughter to that Brahmana, we will take a poison and suicide. We will cut off all our relationship with you, and we'll basically take poison and we'll die. Now this Brahmana is in a fix. If I give away my daughter, I'll keep my religious principles intact. But if I give away my daughter to that old Brahmana, I'm going to lose my whole family. And all my aristocracy and every other aristocrat who I am linked with is going to cut off my ties. So I want to balance the situation. But then his elder son is probably, anybody lawyer here? No, sorry. I'm going to make someone's name as a lawyer, so please don't get offended if you're a lawyer. Must be from the lawyer background. He says that, okay, let's make a deal here. What I would suggest you is, don't say that I did not make the promise if that young Brahmana turns up on our doorstep. What you say is, just say that I don't remember. I did not remember this promise, and then I'll take care of the rest. Okay, I will engage him into some verbal argument and logical thing, and I'll make him go away. And he gives an example of Yudhishthir Maharaj, Narova Kunjarova, like Yudhishthir Maharaj did in the battle of Kurukshetra. I don't know whether it was Ashwathama, whether it was an elephant, or whether it was your son. So in the same way, he says that the same example which I'm going to give you, and you follow that, and I will take care of the rest. Now it is my responsibility. I'll look after that. Now you don't worry. And we are thinking of always. How many of you have this sort of situation when we are not expecting a certain question in that exam paper? That particular question itself lands first on our exam paper, isn't it? No, we keep that for option. If it comes, we'll look after it. But that is the first question we get. And as this Brahmana is breaking his news and he's fighting with his own family members, the young Brahmana appears next day. And he says that, you made this promise, okay? You make this promise of giving away your daughter. Now, why you're not talking? And he says, I don't exactly remember making this promise. And as soon as his son listens to that, he comes out with a stick in his hand to beat this Brahmana. And he says that, young Brahmana, he says that, you're like, तुम्हारी हैसियत क्या है? Like Hindi movie, तुम्हारी हैसियत क्या है? It's like you are a dwarf person trying to catch the moon. तुम जमीन पे रह के चांद के सपने देखते हो. So in the same way, the Brahmana, the son of the Brahmana, older son of the Brahmana says that, go away, otherwise I'll beat you. In a way that he says that he does not remember. And if you are actually you are having a higher dreams, go away. But this younger Brahmana is now thinking that if this older Brahmana does not keep his promise, his religious principles will be not sustained. And that is not a good thing. It is not about me getting his daughter. It is about what he has promised in front of the deities. That will be false, proven false. And that will be a very bad thing for an older Brahmana. Now he is not fighting for the marriage. Now he is fighting for the principle. He goes away, brings out all the villagers, and then what happens is the villagers, when they come, they say, did you make this promise? The older Brahmana says, I don't remember. Now the son of the older Brahmana takes more advantage of this situation. He says that my father is elderly person. This person was always with him, seeing that he is carrying a lot of money on the pilgrimage. And what he did is, whenever had a chance, he stole the money from his, and he said that the thief took it away. And he not only took his money away, but he gave him the datura. Datura is one of the poisonous plant. And in that sort of condition, this might have made some promise, but that is not legal. And now, as you know, he is a poor Brahmana, and we are the aristocrat family. He is actually eyeing on our wealth. So all these arguments are going, and obviously this is Kali Yuga. So his argument stands. The younger Brahmana doesn't have much of the money. Then he says, okay, I will give you the situation, what happened. This older Brahmana actually made a promise in front of the deity. And when the conversation between the elder Brahmana and his son was going on, the elder Brahmana actually says that the deity will come and give the witness, and they will forcefully take away my daughter. That will look very bad. Rather than you get into that situation, let's accept this situation and give her a daughter. But the older Brahmana now is saying that, no, I'm not. And his son is now fighting, saying that, if this my father has promised you and made a Sakshi Gopal, a Gopala as a witness, if he comes here, we will accept that this was done, this promise was done. Now, this is a very tricky situation, or this is a very interesting situation for all of us to hear. Older Brahmana had a conviction that the deities will come. The younger Brahmana also had a conviction that the deities will come. But the older Brahmana's son had a conviction that he never heard of deity going anywhere. Even if the deities are the witness, they are far, far away. If they have to come here, we never heard of such situation, and it is not going to happen, so we don't have to worry about it. And as soon as the younger Brahmana says that the deity was the witness, and if the deity comes here, will you accept it? Will you accept it? जैसे होता है ना वो हिंदी मूवी में पहले उस आदमी का साइन लेके आओ. In the same situation, if I bring that deity here, will you accept it? And the older Brahmana's son immediately jumps into the conversation and says, yes, we accept it. If the deities come here, we will accept that. Now this younger Brahmana, once, what they say, once दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक के पीता है. So in the same way, once he is burnt out on the promise, now he says, don't worry, I want you to write this down on the paper. लिख के दे दो. So the older Brahmana's son is very immediately, yes, लिख दो. So he writes it on the paper and says the villagers keep that paper. And now, to keep the religious principles intact of the older Brahmana, younger Brahmana starts walking back to the Gopala deity, okay, which is in Vrindavan. So he's making that 100 days journey there from the South India, which is the Vijayanagar, to the Vrindavan, to the Gopala deity. 100 days he walks there. And what he does first time there, once he reaches there, he narrates the same pastime, what has happened. So when we actually come to the temple, how many of you had this opportunity to stand in front of the deity and talk? How many of you been to the Tirupati temple? How many of you have spoken with Lord Balaji there? You good, if possible, if you can glance to the full from toe to the head. Correct, that's right. But we get an opportunity here. Anybody pushes you away here? No, isn't it? So when we get to the temple, we have this opportunity to have an interaction with the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. Isn't it? Is there any crowd here? No way. We have all time in our hand. So when we come to the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath temple, what we should do? Same like the Brahmana. The message is for us is like the Brahmana narrated the full story. Now, a person who is an atheist or wanted to have his daughter, he will say, Lord, you know everything. Now you are the witness. Let's go. Come with me. He will just say like that. But no, he has paid his obeisances and he has narrated the whole pastime, saying that I was here, he was here, the older Brahmana was here, he made a promise. So when we come to the temple, how we can establish this loving relationship with the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath? We can come here, we can stand in front of the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. Not that when we come here, we smell a nice prasadam. Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, please, let me have prasadam, I'll come back for the arti. So generally that's the mood, when we smell the prasadam, you go. So when we stand in front of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, we can narrate, say for example, you are making a weekly visit. There are devotees who come every day. There are devotees who I can see they are here for Mangalarti, Darshanarti, all the time. But if you are coming for a weekly darshan, you can come and stand and narrate the whole week what happened. Even though Sri Sri Radha Gopinath knows everything what happened. But they want to understand they want to know how you are establishing that relationship. And then we should not start that, oh, there was a problem in my office, my boss was so, my kids are not listening to me. Dukh bhari kahani nahi sunani. Sri Sri Radha Gopinath knows that. Despite all that, if you are here, he is very happy. Sri Sri Radha Gopinath is very happy. There was one, Amarendra Prabhu gave a class here in this temple. He gave a class only on the one word Pashyati, which means you see the Lord and Lord sees you as well. So it is important that you see the Lord and Lord sees you as well. And when Lord sees us, we are getting purified anyway. So we should spend maximum amount of time in front of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, narrating our whole week, what happened. And you can also narrate some problems, saying that my chanting is not good, such and such service I was trying to do, but I'm not successful, can you please help, or something like that. So rather than saying that my bank is increasing the mortgage rate, my pay is going down, there is a lot of trouble in the office, there is a lot of politics here and there and all that, there are floods and all that. They all know about it. But we should pray that we should find a way out of it and establish that loving relationship with the Lord. As you can see, a lot of devotees have brought some, when we go and visit someone, we always take some sweets, some milk, some flowers, some fruits. Once His Grace Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying that flowers is the best thing because, as you know, we don't offer expensive jewelry to Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. What we can offer is the best flowers, the fresh flowers. And apart from Valentine's Day, if anyone has went to bought the roses, it's very expensive. Even on the Valentine's Day, it's very expensive. But on normal days also, the roses are very expensive. But I'm not saying that don't bring. I'm not saying that you please bring expensive roses. What I'm saying that to establish that relationship, bring something and offer it to Sri Radha Gopinath, like fruit, flowers, whatever. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Those who are familiar with the Bhagavad Gita, they know Lord likes patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. You can offer it with the love and devotion. So you can bring some items like that and establish that loving relationship with the Radha Gopinath. As you can see it here, that's one of the offerings. So coming back to our story, okay, so I'm not diverting from my story. So this young Brahmana is now saying to the Sri Gopala, saying that you are the witness and if you do not come, it will be a sinful activity on you. So this is a devotee who is telling the Lord saying that you will be doing a sinful activity if you don't come and witness. This is he is now worried about not only the Brahmana but the deities as well, the Gopala, because he is now having a personal relationship with the Gopala. Then Gopala says that, okay, you go back, I will appear there in my four-handed form, or I will appear there and I'll witness. The Brahmana says, no. Even if you appear into a Vishnu form with the four hands, people will not believe you. People will not believe you. This is Kali Yuga. You have to come in the same form as you witnessed. Okay. So now he is making the deity to come. Then deities, Gopala says that, okay, I agree, but only one condition, that while walking, you will not look back, that whether I'm coming behind you or not. You can hear a sweet sound of my ankle bell, and that's the indication that I'm walking behind you. Now, I was actually thinking about this, it's like, why would the deity will walk for 100 days, all the way back from Vrindavan to all the way back to the Vijayanagar? He will say, okay, jump on my private jet, let's go there, sort out your problem and let me get back to my original position again. But this is not, I'm thinking that this Brahmana is having such a fantastic relationship with the Lord, that Lord also wants to spend as much time as with, because once this is done, he will come back with the private jet, go back there and then spend no time again with his daily affairs. But Lord wanted to spend as much time with his devotee as well. Not only devotee, and I'm sure this must be a situation. This is kind of a speculation, but I'm thinking that this could be in a very nice way. While walking, what this Brahmana is going to do? Is he going to just walk quietly? No, he's going to sing something which is glorifying the Lord. And that is what Lord is interested in listening, because it's done with the pure heart. So Lord is happy to walk with him. And one more condition Lord puts, that you will not look back. And on top of that, you will cook 1 kilo of rice every day for me, and then you will offer it to me. I'll eat that rice and I'll happily walk back. Now, not only deities are interested in singing of the Brahmana, but he is interested in cooking, personal relationship. And I'm sure this is the condition which he put in because he doesn't want the Brahmana to go fasting as well. If he offers it to the deities, then he will eat that as well. So he is taking care. Who is arranging 1 kilo of rice every day? Obviously, Gopala is arranging for the devotee. And when they come back to the village, what happens is the young Brahmana is hearing the tinkling bell of the Gopala deity, and then he says that now my village is right on the border of my village. Now let the deity stand here. Even if it stands here, it's not a loss, because then everyone can come here and then take a witness. And the deities can stay here as well if they like. So now the Brahmana turns back and says that, the deity says that, okay, yeah, I'm going to stand here, you go, and I'll witness for you. So, the Brahmana goes to the older Brahmana's house and says that, I brought my witness now. Yeah? Gawah, mera gawah aa gaya hai. So everybody was stunned to see that the deity is walking. One thing which I actually missed in between the conversation between the young Brahmana and the deity was saying the same thing what the older Brahmana said, saying that, have you ever seen the deity walking? And the young Brahmana says that, have you ever seen a deity talking? If the deity can talk, deity can walk as well. So come with me. So in the same way, now the older Brahmana's son is stunned, saying that, how come this happened? And older Brahmana is basically so happy to see the deity there. And they say, yes, the older Brahmana has given a promise that he will give his daughter to this young Brahmana. And once that is being done, the marriage happens, and both the older Brahmana and younger Brahmana, they are both serving the deities now there. Now I'm going to go, as we have another 15 minutes, or 10 minutes. I'm going to go into the second part of the pastime. In Vijayanagar, the deity stays there, and the king of the Vijayanagar establishes a temple for the deity there. But the king of Puri, now I'm telling the pastime how the deity from the Vijayanagar ended up into Cuttack. So this Vijayanagar king refused to give his daughter to the king of Orissa, because he says that you are a sweeper of Lord Jagannath, because it's a tradition that the king of Orissa sweeps the street of Sri Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra during the Ratha Yatra. So he says that you are the sweeper of the Jagannath, and I'm not going to give my daughter to a sweeper. And that is insulting for a Kshatriya. So the Odisha king conquers the Vijayanagar and requests the deities to come with him. And as the deities are very know the devotion of the king of the Orissa, the deities end up into Cuttack, and the king of the Odisha establishes the service at Sakshi Gopal. So now you can see the Sakshi Gopal was in Vrindavan, ended up in Vijayanagar, and now they are in Cuttack. So that's the whole pastime. So we can actually do two things. Either we can go for a question and answers, if anyone has got any questions, or we can do a kirtan for another 15 minutes. If anyone knows Mridanga, can you play Mridanga? Okay, please. And if anyone has got question? No? That's good. Okay, so we can do the kirtan. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Om Vishnupadaya Krishna prasthaya bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Just a quick announcement. You can be here. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Sunday Feast program. So just a quick announcement. Today's Sunday Feast is sponsored by Saras Krishna Mataji and family in the memory of Mataji's mother, Rajpati Mataji. So we'll just chant one Hare Krishna in honor of Mataji's family and mother. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you, Mataji, on behalf of everyone for sponsoring today's Sunday feast. It's a little gift back for you and your family. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.